Hi there, I'm Claude Larson and I'm the featured artist up at the Artery Gallery in Milford, Pennsylvania this month. I know we're all staying home, social distancing, and although my opening reception is this Saturday and I would love to see you there, I know there are a lot of people who might not make it out. So I thought I'd give a little artist talk about what I have up on the walls this year. The bulk of what I have to present was made during this stay-at-home time. It gave us ample time to really use our creativity, make a lot of things. I do have a couple sections where I have some of my older work, and the only reason that I don't have those filled with my current or my most recent work is that I'm waiting for the frames to arrive. Those have been delayed by several weeks. And as soon as the frames arrive, I'll have those up as well. But as you can see behind me, this is one of the pieces that started off a series for me. I was in a position where I do a lot of hand dyeing and I had virtually no cotton fabric left to dye. So my source, I couldn't get anything from them. They were closed, and I decided I would use from my collection of vintage table linens a bunch of different, linen, damask, silks, cottons, old handkerchiefs, all these type of things, and that's actually what became the base for this piece. This is completely done in fiber. And I had some hand-dyed pieces that remained from previous work, and I just started sort of playing around with new color palettes. So once I got my color palette established, this piece came out. It's called Far Reaching. A lot of the titles of the work pertain to this time in history, and the names just came to me as I was making them. I don't know if they were words I was hearing, but I was trying to take the positivity out of having ample time and having lots of creativity and having enough materials to make work, and it just became this collection. There are 9 pieces in this collection. This was the first. And there are some others that I will do a walk around at the end of my talk, but they were based on using these various shades of white and then using the same color palette. So they all have a very different vibe, and you'll see that at the end, but that was the first series that I did. And then I was also limited because I didn't have any large sheets of paper to work on. I wanted to make some acrylic paintings, didn't have large paper, and I decided I wanted to try some experiments. So when I'm experimenting, I don't want to use really large materials because then I end up using lots of paint, and you tend to want to experiment less because it starts getting very expensive. Paint is not inexpensive, neither is good quality paper. So I did a lot of small experiments, and I limited my palette. I found that having a limitation placed on me, I further created limitations for myself that helped to boost my creativity. So I worked in black and white. Not usually what I do. I like saturated colors. Then I tried a monochromatic black, white, one color. What could I do with that? And then I gave myself the challenge of black, white, and a complementary pair of colors. So I chose chartreuse green, one of my favorite colors, and like a red-violet color. And then I did a triad, so 3 colors and black and white. And just a different thought process, breaking it down, looking at each section of a painting. What do I love about this? What do I want to paint over? What do I love about this, but it's not really helping this painting, so I got to paint over it. So there were several layers of paint that went on to these experiments, which was great because I didn't have you know, a 2 foot by 2 foot or larger painting where I would have been using up all my paint because I wasn't sure when I was going to be able to get more of any color that I had. So I'll just do a quick walk around. I'll talk about the work. And if you get a chance to come into the gallery, I would love for you to see them in person. But if you're keeping your distance, I figured maybe you'd like a chance to see the work. Let me just take it around. So here's the series, smaller pieces that I had made using that same color palette as the large piece. Right? I'm not sure I'm doing a great job of getting them all in there, but there's 7 of these smaller pieces. And again, same color palette, a lot of very close stitching. All right, you can see it's very tightly stitched. And if it's off-white, it's got an off-white stitching. If it's white, it's got a white stitching. A lot of the thread matches the color unless I wanted it not to. And then, of course, just some experiments with just making this very rectilinear. I work in the non-objective. I think, you know, I think portraits are nice. I think landscapes are nice, but I'm drawn more to working non-objectively because every time I look at my work, I appreciate something else about it. So maybe I appreciate a lot of the stitching that I've done. Maybe I appreciate the negative space. Maybe I appreciate something else about it. You know, it's different each time I look at it. This piece is called Closing the Gap. So again, various shades of white from my table linens, and then the color palette that I had used. And then below it, there's just a couple more of the smaller pieces. I got these really great frames. It's like a matte finish putty gray, really offsets the colors very nicely. And I'm going to just take a quick look around the gallery here. Here's my black and whites, and then moved into the monochromatics. I picked, I honestly forget the name of the color. It might be teal, cobalt teal, something like that. Then I worked with the complementary colors. So I had the red, violet, and chartreuse. All right, a lot of my usual collage. I do love collage. I think that comes from my textile background, right? Taking lots of little pieces, putting them together to make something bigger. Right? Here's my 3 colors. A shade of a cool red, a cool blue, and actually it was a pretty warm yellow, and it worked out okay. And these, and then I'm back to the monochromatic, and then I wrap it up with the black and white. There's a little reflection on there. It's hard to see because the street lights are reflecting in the glass, but these are the new pieces that I have up for my show. There's some of my older work over there, and then my big final piece was this one. It's about 45 inches high, 30, maybe 32 or 34 wide. I forgot. It's based on a trip to Morocco that I took with my husband. And it's really just the shades of the soil there, the deep green of the date palms, the Sahara Desert's in there, the city of Fez is that light beige square, just 1,000 little streets. It was a wonderful experience to be there. It's called the Minarets of Morocco, and you can see the little minarets that were there. Every village, no matter how small, they had a mosque, and they'd have call to prayer, and it was just a very unique place to go and visit. A lot of interesting things to see, and they're depicted in this quilt that I made from that trip. So I hope you make it to the gallery. Thanks for visiting me, at least on my artist talk. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them here. I'll be checking this for the duration of the show. I will definitely get back to you. And I hope you've spent some of this time creating something of your own. I think it's important for all of us to do that. All right, thank you. Bye.